Here we go. Welcome back to Nicholas' Comic Corner, Classic / Non Classics. This is episode number 27. I think it's 05, correct? Yeah, 2705, Doubleshot number 2599. First, here reviewing basically Tales of Batman by Steve Englehart. And I looked up a couple of these Tales books. There's one featuring Marshall Riders, great artist he is. It's mostly put stuff collected in this book here, but I also collected the book by Archie Goodwin. Yes, it's like I think elements of both two books are combined into one, plus like one or two other differences. Alright, so this book collects, and this is I can tell definitely it does collect this one. Just basically just the Batman story. This one. Take the comics 439, 469 to 476, Batman 311, Legend Dark Knight 109 to 111, Batman Chronicles number 19, Legend Dark Knight number 26, 27, and Batman Dark Detective, the entire 6-issue miniseries. 439 is mostly put just a standalone issue. Yes, it is a standalone issue in this comic. It's actually Englehart very first story he ever does for this series. He co-wrote this with Sal Armila and Vin Armila. This is mostly put basically Batman just visiting, well, it's just like just a knowledge about, yeah, it's just basically like, well, it's called Night of the Stalker. It just trying to reestablish the fact that Batman is basically someone who feared. I have a flashback to basically Joe Chill in the story. Now, I did check basically what else was published in this book. Now, I did have discussed the Manhunter story in this book already, which, yeah, this is basically has a Manhunter backup feature. But everything else in this book, it's mostly a reprint, so I'm not really worried about the rest of the book per se. Now, from 469 to 476. Matter of fact, there's actually 2 more issues of the storyline, which are not here because he didn't write these issues. Nope. Basically, this from the trade Strange Apparitions. Starts in 469 and wraps up in 479. It skips one issue, and that's 477 because it's a reprint. So in the opening issue of this very story arc, 469, we're introduced to 2 characters, one of whom we actually in the Batman animated series. That being Rupert Thorne. Yep, Rupert Thorne makes his comic book debut here. Though this is years, like 20 years before his debut in the animated series. This is also the debut of the characters in the cover. That being Dr. Phosphorus. His backup story also features how he got the way. He's basically, you look at him, it's like, wait, he looks like Blight from Batman Beyond. He was partially based upon him. I'm presuming anyways. So he was a former scientist who got radiated to basically what he is. And wherever he touches, it's like a death touch. Blight, when he touches people, he doesn't exactly kill them per se. Dr. Frost, he's basically walking radiation. And the whole thing with Batman in the story, he gets sort of censored by the city council. Because apparently this guy was sent to the city council thanks to Rupert Thorne. And like they started like a brief period of time where basically Gordon has no problem working with Batman. It's like no one else wants to. It's like he's not allowed to work at the police at all. It's like that he'd be allowed. And of course, it's also Arthur Reeves basically trying to manipulate basically stuff going on here. And also in this story arc here, we also see the return of Hugo Strange. Yes, Hugo Strange makes his return here. First time since the 1930s that he's returned. Yes. So the look people know him for. The bald head, the chin beard, and of course, he finds out Bruce Wayne is Batman in this story. You're thinking, wait a minute. Hugo Strange finds out he's Batman. Did this have Batman in his series too? It did. As a matter of fact, that issue was actually partially adapted for the show, though the comic version has it where he is going for radiation in his at this clinic, which acts like a prison for some reason. Also, the story introduces to a character who appears in this story, Dark Detective, and like one other story, that being Silver St. Cloud, a woman who understands Batman, and he has admitted that this actually is one woman he actually wouldn't have children with, despite the fact the only woman he actually had a child with was basically Slade Kyle and Talia al Ghul. Silver St. Cloud is, I gotta at least get praise Mark Rogers for this. He portrays her as a very beautiful, sensual woman. And she's not basically a casual fling as other Bruce Wayne girlfriends to be. She's very serious about him. And the fact that they have that the relationship's taken very seriously. But by the end of the story, they have to sort of politely end the relationship. And then we come in contact with the Joker in the story. Because, of course, the Joker, where he brings in the whole laughing fish stuff. And yes, this was also adapted for the Batman animated series. They had like 2 things adapted for this one. But that's kind of basically the what's here for Strange Operations, of course, and I guess we introduced the third Clayface. And then, of course, well, also, but by the way, there's actually a couple of villains in this storyline. This story not only reintroduced Hugo Strange, they also brought back Deadshot in his more iconic look for the character. You know, with the silver mask, silver top, red middle. The one you saw in like Justice League Unlimited, that look. Because when he made his debut, it was a terrible story. He dressed like wear a tuxedo, wear a diamond mask. The story was awful. And still this, I think like, I did look, apparently this issue is in trade, but it's in an omnibus. Yes, seriously. And you're thinking like, wait, can DC actually legally collect this issue? They can. But it's collected once. I don't know why. Penguin makes a brief appearance in the story. Like, is it like a reintroduction to the character per se? I don't think so. I'm not sure, but one thing I forgot to mention here is that because of the fact Hugo Strange found out Bruce Wayne is Batman, he was going to auction off the 3 criminals, and Rupert Thorne got involved. Now he was not in the episode itself because the criminals ended up basically inadvertently killing him. And of course, they basically disproved the fact that he was Bruce Wayne by having Dick Grayson dress up as Bruce Wayne and wear a skin mask. In the comic, where Rupert Thorne is like smoking a cigar, is like, you can tell us who it really is? Hugo Strange is like, no. Take it back. Take it back. Ask him again. You gonna tell me? Nope. Again. And then he dies. What was going on here? Rupert Thorne was having his men beat the crap out of Hugo Strange. To the point where he died and became a ghost and started basically driving Rupert Thorne freaking nuts. Yeah, but here's the weird thing. After Phosphorus' debut, he disappeared for a little while. He didn't return until issue 311 of Batman. Yes, where he teams with Batgirl. By the way, the last time he physically appeared was, let's see, I think it was in, let's see. Because I think, like, after 2 appearances, he's, like, defeated. Yeah, after, 2 appearances, he's defeated. And that's seeing it to Batman 311. That's the next time he physically appears. It is actually also noteworthy for the first full appearance of the second Batcave. 470. Yeah, 470 is not only that, but also Silver Comics' debut. Yep. And then we have a 3-parter from Legends of Dark Knight, issues 109 to 111. It is mostly put a encounter with the Riddler in the story. Yep. A encounter with the Riddler over the course of 3 issues. And by the way, Archie Goodwin was the editor of this issue. You're thinking, how? Well, this came out before he passed away. If you're curious, though, when I heard he passed away in the 1990s. Okay, if you want to know what the year he passed away? It was 1998. So, these comics came out after he passed away. And I do enjoy the story. We have Dustin Abel in the artwork, and it's a really interesting story per se. I'm surprised basically this 3-parter was not collected in the Batman Arkham Riddler trade. Yep. And then we have 2 issues of Legends of DC, which I love this series. With Trevor Nee in the artwork here, the fishy laugh, it's just basically like a little bit of follow-up to the Laughing Fish story. but it's sort of featuring Aquaman and the Joker. We have one point of Batman fighting Aquaman in the story. Yes, seriously. Yeah, and it continues over in issue 27. Yeah, and then pretty much basically after this two-parter, like, the very next thing we have for Englehart, probably the last thing he did for Batman, is a mini-series known as called Batman Dark Detective. The first issue's cover is a nod to Uncle Sam, where the Joker is running for mayor. Yes, the Joker. This story is also noteworthy for the return of Sarah St. Cloud to DC Comics, first time since Strange Apparitions, where she left town. But here she's back. Yep, she's back in the story. Her last appearance was in basically Steve Eckhart's last issue he did for the book, which was 476. I did hear about the reason why he decided to do this story arc, because he was offered to do Just Like America. He's like, okay, I'll do that, but I want to do Batman. I had heard a personal request to Batman. I'm like, why not? Eckhart's a good writer, and this story was fantastic. Dark Detective is like, of course, they'll deal with like stuff related to not only Joker but Scarecrow. It's mostly put a follow-up to Strange Apparitions, basically done by the same creative team, Steve Eckhart and Marshall Rogers. Eckhart is still alive. Is Marshall Rogers still alive? He is not. He passed away in 2007. Of course, the miniseries also has Two-Face here. It's a really good miniseries. And it's a shame, though, the fact that, well, no one really talks about this one, per se. The cover is done by Terry Austin, Marshall Rogers, and Chris Chucky. Yep. One of the candidates is Evan Gregory. And it's all big election. And then, like, as soon as... By the way, we have Bruce Wayne and Silver St. Cloud reunite in this book. We also experience this book by Double Dr. X. Dr. Double X. You're thinking, who the heck is this guy? Well, he's a character created for Batman back in the 50s. Yeah, he makes her in the comics here. Like, from what I can tell anyways, I think it was the first ever comic since Young Justice. No joke. He appears there for one issue, and he's seen again in Titans. Does Joker win election? No, he doesn't. But I love the titles like Out for Vengeance. Like, is there any, like, deaths in this miniseries? Not really. Joker himself briefly takes Silver Snake on hostage, where he rips off part of her dress to show out the fact she's wearing a black bra. Okay. I'm like, is Englehart, like, writing the fact Joker may be a terrible person? I don't know, but this stuff in here was fantastic. If you're a fan of Batman, check out this trade. It is really, really good. I give this book a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is From Superman. I'm sure if you love the fact I'm reviewing this book here. I'll probably send a link to it for this one. We actually have Superman, the Exile and Other Stories Omnibus. And this is the action, not just make up stories. This book collects issues from these following Superman books. We have Avengers of Superman, number 445 to 460. Superman, Volume 2, issues 23 to 37. Action Comics, 643 to 646, and number 2. Your writers for this book are Jerry Ordway, Dan Jurgens, Roger Stern, and you have Kerry Campbell on the artwork. Jerry Ordway does basically mostly the Avengers Superman stuff. Yes, so these are your writers, these creative teams for this book. We have Jerry Ordway mostly doing Adventure comic, Adventure Superman. Superman Volume 2 is Roger Stern with Mike Mignola in the artwork. Jerry Ordway basically writes and draws pretty much all the Adventure Superman issues. Let's see. 23 is Mike Mignola. 24 is Kerry Jimmel, who also is 25. Dan Jurgens, his first story this artwork for was issue number 30. He also does the artwork for issue number 53. I don't know why it's written here twice. There might be a typo. Oh, I think it's a backup story. That's what it still is. Yeah, there's a backup story. This will go House Take Over. So, we started off with issue 445. And by the way, these comics basically are printed from the time period of, they don't have the month here per se, mostly from 1988 to 1989. Yes. And you think, okay, what book here has most issues here? Adventure Superman is roughly 16 issues. For Superman, it is roughly 16 issues as well. But Action Comics have the shorts at basically 5. I think that Adventure Superman basically is probably maybe publishing like bi-monthly. Now, was this like the Adventures of Superman here? Is this like right after basically the John Byrne stuff? Yes. Yeah, this is basically stuff that comes right after the John Byrne stuff. So yeah, this is the very next thing. And they do in fact have it basically where apparently that like it's all done very serialized. This is before the whole thing of like this is before the triangle numbering, which that happened a few years later. Mostly put, here's what happens here. We have a guy called Milton Fine being possessed by a Brainiac in pretty much all these issues. Mostly in Adventures of Superman, which they don't collect the annual here for some reason. Oh, and here's a fun fact. Did you know they brought this guy back for just recently for House of Brainiac? Yeah, he mostly just exists in the Adventures of Superman issues. And like 2 issues of Superman. Yeah, he appears here for this 1 issue here. And then like the very next thing, it's like... So, this is right after the deaths of a version of General Zod. So we deal with that. Superman goes to space briefly. There's a Superman clone. Well, a copy of him per se. You're thinking, because it includes Action Comics number 2. Does it include the story that introduces the Eradicator? I don't think so. By the way, the annual itself, written by Jerry Ordway, George Perez, and Roger Stern. Art by Jerry Ordway, Mike Mignola, and Kurt Swan. This is just Memory is the Past. I could have sworn this one was the debut of the Eradicator, but I think not. It's just basically Superman Exile. Which, it's collected here, the story. It mostly starts with issue Superman number 28. And continues over in Adventure Superman 451. That's part 2. Part 3 is Superman Volume 229. 452, Adventure Superman. Volume 2 is issue 30. That's basically part 5. Second set was from 453, 454. Then comes the annual. Then Superman Volume 2, 32. Adventure Superman 455. Superman Volume 2, 33. Avengers Superman 456. And Action Comics number 643. And this is all pretty much in this book here. That was the first issue, like part of the whole storyline, Exile. Not really. It's most of it's loosely connected issues. We also have Lex Luthor here. We also see his first appearance of Steve Lombard. Yeah, he makes his first appearance in these issues. Well, the post-crisis first birthday for some reason, it took a little while to bring him back. Like, he was a pre-crisis character that they decided to bring back here. He was introduced back in the 70s. And apparently it took 2 years to bring this guy in for some reason. We're also introduced Laura Conway. Her father is Vincent Edge. If you're curious, who the heck is Vincent Edge? Vincent Edge is the father of Morgan Edge, the head of Intergang. Yep. Yeah, the way the book basically is structured is that we have Adventure Superman 445 first, and then it's Superman 23, which is the first issue just after John Byrne and Lee Rogers takes of the book. It's multiple deals with Sarah Banshee. It's it's her origin story. That's most of exactly what it is here. 446 will explain that. Then comes issue 24 of Superman, where basically he takes on Rampage. Yes, Rampage. Just in a fight with her. She first appeared in issue 7. She's John Byrne character. Excuse me. Most of it seems like this trade here goes back between Superman and Superman Volume 2, because next comes 447. Called Over the Edge. Love the cover by Jerry Way. We have Kiss Burns by Bilbo Bosky. He just basically is a professed fan of Superman. He made his debut like literally after the start of the, like basically in a way, it was pretty much the 5th issue of Adventure Superman has basically made his debut. You can think of it as Adventure Superman number 5, though numbering is basically 420. That's basically his debut. Great character he is. Of course, like there's here called Morgan Edge, Maggie Sawyer's here as well, and then next came Superman 25, where it's like a dream sequence where basically Clark is basically like is typewriter. By the way they have pictures of the computers here, it's the same look that gave Daily Planet in the animated series. Yes, seriously. With the whole small monitors. Even though this came out in 1988, they had this look for the computers in the 90s. For reasons. And like he breaks it and of course everyone finds out that powers are under control, but turns out it's all just stream sequence done by frickin' Brainiac. Yep. 448. 448 is basically dealing with Amanda McCoy. This, of course, is Sally before her death, and this is just an appearance by her. Yeah, before her sadly her passing in issue 654. That was pretty much basically when they killed off the character. Actually, it was 653. That's where they sadly killed off the character. This is actually led into Dark Knight over Metropolis. Yeah, and it leads into Invasion. Yep. A tie-in for Invasion would start issue 26 of Superman. Yeah, by the way, we get experienced by Hawkman. Hawkman appeared basically heavily in the story. Those were the Domineers. And a guy called Baron Saturday, who didn't really appear very much. Yeah, this was only like his 3rd appearance. He only appeared like... I mean, he made his debut in issue 26. Basically, this was basically his kind of in-person debut. He made 2 appearances after this. He just basically just a minor character. There's also guest appearance here by Captain Atom and Gangbusters here as well. And the story continued over in Adventure Superman 449. Where he works with the Guardian, Newsboy Legion. I love the Invasion storyline. It's fantastic. Of course, it continues over in Superman. Excuse me. And then in 27 is The Invasion. Well, it's mostly put just, well, oh look, it's a fight between Gangbuster and the Guardian. Oh, by the way, there's even a dumpster. Which get this, it's called has named Kirby on it, which nice little nod. The fact based also Dublik that he did let's bring these issues as well. And then basically next is 450. You were thinking this double size issue? Not really. It's more just an Aftermath invasion. You guys do it with Brew and Magnum. And next came Superman number 28. And this began the Exile storyline. Now, the Becca feature they have of the book basically started issue 630. It is mostly put trying to take over Star Labs. That's mostly exactly what it is. It's a story that starts in issue 450, starts in Superman Volume 2, number 30. Part 2 is in Adventure Superman 453, and is included in Superman 31. And this all happens while Superman is away. Mm-hmm. And then we have 643, which included in this thing. The cover is homage to Superman number 1. Mm-hmm. As for 643, mind you, that's the Aftermath of the Exile. But 644 is, well, dealing with Matrix. Yeah, Matrix becomes Supergirl. Yeah, her posing as Superman. For a single issue. Mm-hmm. As for 644, that's just like with there. 35 for Superman. Well, let's talk about 34. Handled by a crook. Skyhook. Yeah, we deal with this villain here, Skyhook. He is just a demon that for some reason John Byrne created him just to have him appear in this book. Yeah, this was only his second appearance in the comics. Yeah, first appearance issue 34. Yeah, apparently after like 35, they had 458 next, which Superman deals with like Jimmy also getting elastic powers. We also get the first appearance issue of Maxima. Yes, the woman who basically wanted to sleep with Superman. A character was only around for about 13 years before they killed her off. And Sisu. He didn't really appear much as Maxima did. No, he just appeared just for 645, which is published here. 651, 654, 458, and he appeared just a few times. That was it. Then came 45, the second last issue of Action I was published in this book here. Let's see the whole thing with the whole thing with Maximum, probably first part appearance of the character. Then came issue 36 of Superman, where it's like, Superman taking on the prankster. Yes, the frickin' prankster. who was reintroduced post-crisis in Superman 36. Yes, seriously. And this was the first appearance since in this book since issue 16. You're like, really? Yeah. The whole cover thing is he basically tries to cut a woman half with a freaking chainsaw. And then right after this issue here, they have I think it next is 459 for Adventure Superman. Let's see how many I have here. Like we're 30 minutes here. Yeah, it's most of him going to Fortress of Solitude for this issue. And then came the final issue of Action Comics published in this book here, 646. Takes on someone called Gretchen Kelly. Yeah. Lex's person position. And then came the final issue of Superman Volume 237. It's called Best Friends. It's mostly all about Jimmy Olsen and Superman for an issue. Yeah, there's also one point during the invasion storyline. Apparently, Superman was posing as Ging by some reason. The final issue published in this book is issue 460. Yep, 460. Called Eradicate. It's called the cover is called Eradication. Does Vatican play this issue? No, he doesn't. We get first appearance of Lord Santanis, who apparently is the father of the original Shazam. And his sister is it's like a supernatural foe. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where in the annual is basically the first appearance of the Eradicator, but yeah, the Eradicator kind of makes appearance in issue 460 of Adventure Superman. It's also first appearance of the post-crisis Fortress of Solitude. Yep. But yeah, love the stuff here. And this last issue here is written and drawn by Dan Jurgens, with inking by Adam Kubert. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit dislike button. Next up, Marshall Magic and Missiles is next. Okay, next video. Bye.